Okay, my name is Vero Reynolds. I earned a bachelor's in mechanical engineering from Viterbi, and a few years later earned an MBA from Emory's Goizueta Business School. And then right after that, I actually joined an education residency program where I worked while I also did some like educational coursework and a lot of meeting up and doing site visits where I earned a master's in education and educational leadership through the Broad Center. So Rising Tide Pro is actually a business that I started to help students and young adults to just gain like life skills, professional skills, the interviewing, the resume writing, the things that help you be successful in career. But also once you're in career, to understand like how you can take control of your money that you will inevitably be making and leverage that as a tool for happiness, for success, not be stressed out about it. It's not something that I learned in school that most of us learn in school. And so that's actually kind of a side hustle for me. I also work at GPSN, and we are an education and philanthropy organization. And so we are an intermediary funder. We get grant funds from big philanthropies in the LA area, and we use that to catalyze excellence in LAUSD schools. So now I'm really working in the public education space.
As a kid, I always enjoyed technology and I liked math, but in high school, my grades weren't the best. And so by the end of my sophomore year, I had a 2.3. So I never didn't take an honors class, AP class, none of that. And so when I finally sort of got my stuff together, right, I had a lot of really good mentors who saw potential in me and said, look, I think you can do this. So, they connected me with schools that they thought would not only just teach me engineering, but also be a place to nurture and help me grow. And so after looking at various schools, I chose A&T. I graduated A&T summa cum laude. I was fortunate to win a Fulbright fellowship, and I was the first student in A&T's history to win it. I went off to the UK. I spent a year in England pursuing a master's in robotics. USC had the most Black roboticists graduate from here at the time. There was two I knew of, Dr. Chad Jenkins and Dr. Ayanna Howard. And so I had USC on my list, applied, was able to find an advisor that, who work was interested, and the rest is history. So that's how I got to USC.
I started at USC 2013, and I'm civil environmental with an emphasis in water resources. At the time, we had an early Connect conference through the Center for Engineering Diversity. So I participated in that heading into Viterbi. I got a little involved with SHIP from there because they were the majority of the mentors for the incoming freshmen. And then through that, I found NSBE, where I got heavily involved, did a lot of leadership there. And then went to the University of Iowa for my master's and came back with my master's and started working for the LA County sanitation districts.
I think my journey is definitely a very unique and interesting one because I actually didn't go to high school in the United States. I actually went to high school in Africa, Nigeria to be precise. Graduated valedictorian in my class, took a gap year after high school. And so USC was one of the schools that offered biomedical engineering, but more particularly, out of all the schools that I looked at, it was one of the ones that had biomedical engineering in multiple different tracks. I thought I was going to go into consulting, but I actually applied to just one tech company. It was Oracle. I was like, I'm not a computer science major. And so, I went into Oracle as a cloud engineer. I served as a cloud engineer for 3.5 years. I actually got into medical school right after I was going to leave Oracle, and I was supposed to start medical school last year. But then I also sort of realized, and you asked a little bit about just life and the journey to it, was I sort of realized like I'd been corporate for so long as well. And I wanted to put my foot gradually off the gas pedal, so go into a little bit of cruise control before I hopped into, medical school. So at the time I got into medical school at that time, I decided to defer medical school. And then I decided to move to another company that I felt would give me more flexibility to work from home, more flexibility with, paid time off. And use it to do some of the life stuff that I wanted to do. So last year I visited like Africa. I was in Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Nairobi, Mombasa. Then earlier this year I did 5 countries in 4 weeks. And then after doing all of that, I was like, okay, yeah, now we're ready to start medical school.